Okay, so welcome to today's video. In today's video, we will be going over Age of Mythology retold here. How to build the indestructible base in Age of Mythology. Here's a quick disclaimer beforehand. There are certain god powers that can break the base, if you will, such as the fire god power, and the walking tree power, and maybe some other ones. But I know those ones can definitely do some damage. Alright, to start, here I'm a bit late to the party, just gotta do the quick intro. So to start, you'll want to pick the Atlanteans and Gia as your god, and you'll immediately want to use the guy's forest power Gia guy, however you say. And what the goal here is to build a wall of trees around your base. So your base will basically be only vulnerable to ranged attacks here, okay? But say you still want to get troops out and such, then what you're going to do is you just you have the smallest amount of wall that you can have, and you want to and you just want to have that wall there. You only want to have one wall. Of course, you can wall it and delete it as the god power is going, and as you can see, I may have cheated a bit, but it's because I want this game to go pretty fast, and so that I wasn't having to spend like an hour, since this base can take a while. It's not very practical, but it's pretty cool to have the indestructible base. Also, as of now, until the Chinese are added, Atlanteans have the strongest walls in the game. Until the Chinese, if they add them, get the Great Wall. So that wall would be very strong. Okay, and you can see here, yeah, we use that wood today for the manor here. Another thing to know, you'll see me do with your villagers, if you're playing with an ally or something, 2 people, you'll normally want to send your woodcutting villagers to chop the forest down there, since they can just auto and put holes in your forest. You also want to test it by sending units out in different places, and if they move, then you know that and if they go through the trees, you know you need to forest god power here. Usually, if you want to make this go as quick as possible, this isn't really a good map for this. You want to pick a map where the forest circle is as small as possible, but the plus on this is when you're fully enclosed, you'll have room to expand. Okay. So here we picked Leo, and we did this for one simple reason, well actually 2 or 3. The automatons, they're pretty cool. They can rebuild each other, repair themselves, and they're pretty strong too. And they're cheap, especially for the setup, since you don't really push an army. But you need one to defend yourself, but whatever. Yeah. And to upgrade the walls. Okay, so maybe you need gold a little bit. But we took it for the spider eggs god power. Now for the one side that you're gonna wall in, you want to booby trap that side as heavily as you possibly can by just spamming spider traps in front of it. So yeah, so what the spider egg trap god power does is it puts some spider eggs in the ground, and after a while they burrow down the ground, and then they come out when human soldiers walk over them. So that means everything besides myth units, maybe heroes. I was I wasn't paying attention. Maybe there was a hero that walked over. You can just leave it down in the comments below. And a sub to the channel be pretty good. Yeah, so stay till the end to see if the indestructible base will hold against the enemies, or will it fall, and will this all be useless? Who knows? Okay. So, also the guy's Forest God power just gives you... The wood is just more beneficial, but this is probably the best turtling strategy in the game, and at the end game, if you want to build other town centers somewhere, you can just fully enclose your base in trees, and technically you can never lose. Okay, now you'll notice a quick speed up in the video here, because we didn't want to take this one. Let's see, the match took about 40 minutes. Probably would have took me about an hour if I wasn't using cheats to get the favor. Whatever, in case you're wondering, Atlantean favor is gained by oracles. So the way it works is when they move, they gain less favor, but I think the longer their area of influence is, the more favor they have, and such. And for some reason, I was allies with the Egyptians. Yeah. So yeah, if you wanna see some more Age of Mythology content, leave a like or comment down below if there's another game you wanted to play. I mean, I might do some Spider-Man, just a Spider-Man remastered playthrough here. Yes, also, what is it called? Oh yeah, I've talked about this in some of my other videos, but I was working on some, this may be really annoying, so I'll just be quiet for a minute. Just being printed. Okay, so anyway, that was a pretty large print, but basically I was doing a Batman No Batarang playthrough, so I'll just tell you a bit more. I'm not sure if you're interested or not. So basically, I figured out you have to use Batarangs to kill key enemies. Okay, so I mean, do some stuff. Like, some of the fights are impossible without the Batarang. So, yeah, so that was pretty, so it took me a while, like, maybe 11 to 10 hours. I can't remember since I deleted all the footage, but in case you're wondering why that's not a video on my channel yet, it's because you guys can help me out with this. So I was doing some remote playing, so I have an Xbox, but I didn't want to install like recording software and such on my Xbox. So I thought I'd just do some remote playing. But after a few minutes, all the footage just turned black. So unfortunately, altogether there was like 11 minutes of footage. So there wasn't even anything good there to make a video out of. So that was kind of disappointing. That I was unable to complete that, since it was Arkham Asylum, so I actually really like Arkham Asylum. Okay, now back to what is actually happening. So I've upgraded my walls a few times, and let's see here. Oh yes, I'm aging up right now, and there's no real, at this age, there's no right one to go for the strategy, but I just like doing the trees, since it's not destroyable. Since I tried this out before doing a video, and I realized that the catapults can destroy your buildings, especially if you're doing a small space like this and such. So, but what the tree does is it allows you to have an army from the wood, and you're surrounded by wood. So you can basically have an army no matter what. If worst comes to worst, you can just start chopping down the woods and just have an army of those guys, but there's a limit on those. So they're pretty tough fighters, and here you can see I've expanded the wall a bit to offer more protection in that area and regard, but the trees get kind of expensive, and as you can see, cheating in favor. But in a normal game, you can see that I tried to place a tree over there to protect my villagers, but it is claimed, just like the Vaults of Plenty and the Healing Springs, I believe, by the units by the most units that are there, I think. So yeah, that tree placement was kind of useless, but the trees are indestructible, and they're pretty good. You also get the Stymphalian birds with the druids, and they're pretty good, pretty strong. Most of the units you're doing here, the Stymphalian birds cost some wood, but it's gonna be a gold and wood heavy strategy. So if you're doing a partner, maybe like Thor, or just any other Norse god, since the Norse with their mining are quite good. So to optimize it so that you could just spoon feed you resources and such. So yeah. Now here I decided to go with Atlas for one singular reason, because Implode sounds pretty cool. But normally a good option is also the Tartan Gate. If you notice, especially with AI that like to send their troops one very specific way usually, like they never hardly ever change their patterns of where they're going. So I'm not sure if this is factual or not, but it's just something I've noticed. So if you just stick that along the route that you notice that they're traveling, then that'll slow them down and kill some of them. But the little guys that it spawns, they don't have a large wander radius, so it'll take some good positioning since you don't want to get it destroyed since it's quite expensive. And this could be a good way to... Wonders no longer win you the game, but pretty sure this strategy still works in old age and mythology. But they do, Wonders and Titan Gates do take a while, so it could be a good way to turtle for oh, now here's something pretty cool. Boom. So you can see it does more damage with the units, and for the rest of this game I basically just messed around after I finished the tree wall and just spammed implode on them. So that was basically all I did since I just wanted to have some fun. I know it may seem a bit cheaty, but this is just a tutorial, and it's not that exciting since this whole strategy basically revolves around waiting for your god powers to be off cooldown and having enough favor to use them. Especially with the larger areas. I mean, it'll take a lot of favor to use them. So, probably I'll just build... But I'm not sure if they fixed this, but the abilities only seem to be good for one or so uses and such. So yeah, oh, and I found something interesting, so I'm not sure if this is the same in old Age of Mythology, but for the people who haven't played for a while, and they remember how Set used to be able to spam lots of weak animal units, well, now it's with the Pharaoh, so if you want if the units spawn from the Pharaoh, so you have to click on the Pharaoh and then it'll show and it'll show you what units you spawn, and they get better as they age up. So, because I was really excited to play Set since I used to love to play Set, even though Guy's the best god in the game because of the broken economics and such, but it is what it is. Maybe I'll do like a god's tier list if we do it. And I've also did I make that video yet? Did I just well, I'm also made a guide for the Greeks. A quick how to play for the Greeks. Not sure if the sound has been processed yet. That's something I'll have to look into. I'll definitely record the footage. Sorry, I'm just talking to myself here. Yeah, so for the the last few minutes here, I basically just spammed the implode gun power since I thought it was pretty fun, and the tree power to have infinite druids while waiting for them to come off cooldown. In case you're wondering, and if you want to know, the command I use to get this favor is Mount Olympus, but only use it with your friends if you think they can handle it and they're not going to get really mad. But definitely don't do it in actual matches. I do not condone it because it's just cheaty. This was me versus AI by myself. And for some reason they put their plenty vault all the way out there, so yeah, that's interesting. I mean, some of the endgame units are pretty broken in this game, but some of them are pretty bad actually. Like, let's see here. Medusa's okay, but the cooldown is a big thing. I would say mountain giants are pretty broken. Their damage in terms of against structures is broken, and the amount of health they have. Well, maybe if you get enough units on them, they die, but they just have too much health and they do too much damage to stuff. For my liking, giants in general are just pretty. I remember fire mega giants were like really OP, and an old age of mythology. I'm just not sure if this isn't true or not, but I remember they used to be pretty good. Now frost giants can just freeze armies, so go figure, a unit that can freeze armies if you spam them. Granite or rock giants are pretty strong. The one guys that I'm spawning, they can instantly kill infantry, so they're basically like bug Medusa. Phoenixes are pretty, especially against Titans. And Titans are their new thing, Titan transversal. Ooh, well, in some ways I like it, in some ways I don't like it. They can walk through water now, which is definitely good, since before Titans could be stopped by a puddle, but now they basically nerfed water, since I'm not sure if it was always like this, but the Black Sea used to be, I'm not sure if I just can't remember right, but the Black Sea used to be this really cool map where it was basically split into two. So you would have to fight for naval domination to have safe passage for your army to cross. And it was pretty cool, but now they can just go right to the sides. Sorry about that. My little brother just wanted something. So yeah, also, in conclusion, definitely gonna have to be sad. I was sitting way too far back in my chair. Sorry, the audio. I'll make sure it gets processed right. Yeah, Phoenixes. Oh yeah, back to Titan transversal, so they can go over walls, which is interesting. So it basically removes turtling. Like, I know this isn't the way it should be meant to be played, but I think they should definitely add features or gods more for turtling. And so I know the god Freyr is supposed to be like the Norse of like defense and technology, but his god power is like a fortress at like 2. Wait, but you need a fortress to go. Wait, no. Yeah. Yeah. Which basically means you can get rams and destroy a town center really quickly. In terms of, I'd say the Cyclops is a really strong starting off unit. But they're pretty expensive. Awesome. What else did we have here? Yeah. I feel like I've just been talking random stuff for a while. I hope it was at least entertaining and you didn't get bored and leave. But we're nearing the end of our time together today. So, yes, the indestructible base did hold. You can put some trees in front of it if you like. Oh, that's the video. Bye.